JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 18th of November 2021. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So check us out here on jfdbank.com. And yep, click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts, so just let's see what's happening here. Yep, so we are having that retracement. We had that retracement, as you can see here, and this upside line did do its job again. And if you remember yesterday, I talked about this one, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this again because, well, we did get that drop. We did get a move towards this upside line. This territory near this upside line provided good support, and we saw a nice little rebound. So now the big question here is, can we see a nice rebound, a further nice rebound here? To be a little bit more on the careful side this time, I would rather stick to some of the levels here on the top. So the 29,880 zone, if you can see it, I've now redrawn my levels a little bit here, so just to kind of reflect the true picture. But basically, if we do pop and stay above that 29,880 zone, then yes, of course, I'll aim for some higher levels, also, or at least I'll start aiming for some higher levels, and then yeah, we will take it from there. For the downside, I would like to see a break of this upside line and a drop below the 29,402 zone, below this 21-day EMA, and if the index remains below this territory, then well, certainly lower levels could be met. Jumping into Shanghai Composite very quickly, so just a quick update. So yeah, I mean, it did push higher, but as you can see, again, when I say that I'm keeping an eye on certain level, basically that's kind of one of the reasons here, as you can see, is one of the reasons why, because basically we had a nice little rebound from this highlighted territory here, this 3,515 level, but I said that for me to get comfortable with higher levels, I need to see a push above this 3,553 level. So, well, we didn't get that, and instead we're just continuing to kind of move sideways here. So for me, that's not great, and yep, that's why I'm gonna just gonna sit this one out, and I will continue observing the price action. For the downside, now this is where the tricky bit here is. Now, even if it falls below this 3,515 territory, not gonna become very, very bearish, because as you can see, we did in the recent past here fall below the 200-day EMA, even drifted lower, but still kind of recovered and pushed higher. So that's why I'm gonna be a little bit more on the careful side here this time, and I'm gonna, in terms of the downside, I will stick to this little hurdle here, the 3,483 1883. Let's round it up here. And if we drop and stay below it, then yes, this could open the door towards lower levels. Now jumping into Dax, the German index, and here you can see that we had a nice good move yesterday again, but maybe not a huge one, but still it ended up being slightly in the positive territory here. The cash index, if we take a look at it right now, just bear with me one moment. Let me find that German index. So the cash index is, yeah, it's currently trading at around 16,268 territory, so slightly above yesterday's close, but not above the current all-time high, which is roughly around that 16,283 zone. So if you're looking for some upside, then well, you'll just have to wait for a pop above this barrier. If you're looking for some downside, now I would like to see maybe a drop somewhere below this little hurdle, the 16,157, 58 territories, approximately around here. That's that's the low of Tuesday, and then if we drop below it, then yes, we could consider maybe a bit of a corrective move here to the downside. Now jumping into Nasdaq 100. So as we know, yesterday the indices in the US did close kind of mixed here, I would say. I would even say in the negative territory actually. So but Nasdaq was the I think the second biggest loser. The S&P held on still kind of nicely, but the Dow did drop, and yeah, the Dow didn't really perform quite well. So but here talking about Nasdaq, I mean, don't get me wrong, although we are looking a little bit on the bearish side, still the near-term trend is still to the upside, so that's why be very careful, guys. Although we are looking for those signals, yes, for the downside, from the very short-term perspective, we still have this upside line right here, which could kind of play out and could still provide support, and we could continue drifting higher. So for now, at this point, I would like to see a drop below this upside line and below this 16,169 territory in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the downside. DXY, the dollar index, this one drifted lower yesterday, but as you can see, this 95.72 territory, which I've mentioned before, did act as a nice area of support. Previously did that as well. As you can see, that's the lowest point of June of 2020, and the inside swing low of the 10th of June of 2020. So for now, this hurdle is doing its job. It's providing support, and if it continues to do so, then well, we could continue aiming higher. If it falls, if the index falls below this area, for me to get a little bit more excited with, let's say, a larger correction to the downside would be somewhere from around this area, from around this 95 zone. And then, yes, we could go for this upside support line. Quick update on gold. So a bit of a roller coaster ride here on gold. So yep, a little bit frustrating, I would say, even, but yeah, it is how it is. We'll just have to kind of try to work with it. And basically for now, looking at this picture, yes, we are seeing a nice little up move here. Yesterday, kind of, you can see that let me just grab a line here. You can see that this area near this 1850 zone did provide support again, and we saw a nice push higher. If you're looking for a further move north, then well, wait at least for a push above the current highest point of November near the 1877 level. A nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high. Now, in terms of the downside, yes, drop below this 1850 zone might do the trick and may open the door towards a larger correction to the downside. Initially, we'll aim for that 1834 zone, but if that fails to provide support, then yes, further declines could be possible. Now, jumping into WTI oil. WTI oil is nicely drifting lower. So as you can see, yesterday I talked about this, and actually from the beginning of this week I talked about these two lines here. So I said to keep an eye on this upside one, and if we fall below that 79.33 territory, then well, we could see a further move to the downside. Now, in a way, I would say for now, be very careful here. Yes, we are drifting nicely to the downside, but we are approaching this key support zone near the 77 mark. Well, actually, approximately around here, near that the highest point of July of 2021, and that's roughly around that 76.95. So, in general, we can just aim for that 77 territory, and if it provides somehow support, because it previously was seen as a nice area of resistance, if this time it acts as a good area of support, then we can see a nice rebound and a push higher. Let me just grab this line, and let me just draw it this way. So, and yeah, if it continues to slide here, and if it falls below that 77 territory, then certainly yes, lower levels could be met. And of course, we're going to keep an eye on this little short-term tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 10th of November. Litecoin, very quickly on that. So the crypto world is retracing right now to the downside. So as you can see, I talked about this crypto previously, and what I said before was that if it starts falling somewhere below this 236.49 zone, well, we could see a further decline, a larger correction lower. For now, everything is according to the plan. We are drifting towards that 214.65 zone, and if that gets broken, my next target is this upside support line taken from the low, the 29th of September. AUD NZD, so one of my favorite ones, and as you can see, why. So far, I probably for about a month now, I mean, it's all working out according to the plan. So everything's just kind of perfectly technical here. We are within this falling channel, and this is what I kept talking about. So now basically we've reached this target, the 1.0350. I've mentioned this before. We are now also, let me just grab one of these lines here. We're now also near this the low of the current lowest point of November, near the 1.0330. But if that gets cleared, then first, of course, the path of least resistance is to the downside towards the lower side of the falling channel. For now, long story short, I'm gonna keep an eye on this, and I'm gonna continue. Aiming lower. Now, US dollar against the Turkish Lira. Okay, so I don't know if it is, let's say, useful to you or not, but I don't know if you've seen this lately. Turkish Lira and together with some other currencies like the Pakistani rupee are actually suffering a lot right now, and certainly one of the main reasons is the unconventional kind of economic approach of the Turkish leadership towards trying to maintain inflation, but you can see that clearly that's not working. So for now, I mean, this pair is, and not only this pair, but the currency, the Turkish lira, is under fire. I mean, it's devaluating rapidly day by day, and it's not a good time to be holding Turkish liras. So let's see how. The reason why I'm mentioning this one today is just because we do have the 1 week repo rate from Turkey coming out today. So keep your eyes on that. We might see some volatility, and the moment, guys, this is just on fire. It has its all-time highs. I mean, it created already a new all-time high today. I mean, maybe it'll go in for another all-time high tomorrow as well. But yeah, just be very careful. We're not far from that 11 level. I mean, we were just talking about that psychological 10 zone recently, and well, there we go. I mean, we're at 11, and to be honest, with this pace, and if nothing will be changed, if the ideas, or should I say, the steps that are going to be taken going to be the same as previous, then well, I mean, doesn't look very well here for the Turkish economy. Although some might argue that maybe, you know, this is the way to kind of make your exports a little bit more attractive, but to be honest, you're gonna push your local consumer into poverty. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit of a tricky one here. So yeah, let's be very careful with the pair, with this pair and with the other Turkish Lira pairs. But yeah, of course, I do understand it does present itself with nice opportunities, but yeah, let's be a little bit on the cautious side. USD CAD, so pushed higher. Of course, the weaker oil it did play out nicely here. It did play out positively for this pair. Of course, the stronger dollar as well kicked in. So yeah, we've managed to pop above this barrier, above this 1.2583 zone, and yep, we continued to push north. So actually, let me refresh this chart, and let me just kind of start fresh probably again. So just to be a little bit more accurate here. So we have this upside line. Actually, previously I had this upside line. So let's keep an eye on this one instead, because this one has a bit more touches. Then of course we managed to climb above the previous highest point of November, and we've created a new one yesterday and today as well. So let's see if we can stay above this 1.2605 territory. If we can, then yes, we'll continue aiming higher. Our next target will be this high of the 29th of September near the 1.2775, and then so on, so on. For the downside, pretty straightforward. I need to see a break of this upside line and a drop below that 1.2493 zone. GBP USD. GBP USD is, yeah, it's a little bit on the difficult side here, I would say, and yeah, so for now, it's looking quite interesting here, and let's see if this is gonna remain above this downside line taken from the high of the 29th of October, because at the moment, yes, there are signs of positivity here, but again, this positivity might be limited because of this other downside line taken from the high of the 1st of June. So be very careful for now. I mean, looking at this, if you're looking for a level, then probably somewhere push above this 1.3524 territory might do the trick. However, we do have the 21-day EMA here, so maybe just even a push above that 21.20 this 21-day EMA, maybe it could be a bit of better option to wait. And finally, EURUSD. So this one actually formed a nice little pin bar here. Could be seen as a sign of reversal. However, don't get me wrong. I mean, these do sometimes also act as continuation. So in other words, it's a still 50-50 chance here. So as always, guys. But the only thing is that yes, we saw the pair kind of moving, rebounding from this territory from near the 1.1255. Can we go for a bit of a retracement? Well, of course, that's probably something that the bulls are hoping for. But for me, to be honest, I would rather leave this one right now and just observe the price action, because I don't like these scenarios here, and I don't like these territories, and also, I mean, we're below. If we also look at the our oscillators here, the RSI and the MACD, basically, yeah. So those are showing downside momentum here. So yeah, at the moment I would say be a little bit more on the careful side with the euro. I'm neither bullish nor bearish at this point from the very short-term perspective, of course, because overall, yes, I'm still bearish because we're still below this downside line, but Of course, a bit of a retracement could be possible. However, I would say if you want to keep an eye on something, then well, keep your eyes on the current highest point of today, near the 1.1338. A nice good pop above it. Yep, could lead to some higher levels, but don't forget that it might change quickly closer to the end of the day. So yeah, be very careful with that. Okay, guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time. I really do, guys, so I hope you found it useful. And yeah, if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. Bye-bye.